Hey everybody, good morning. Joel Rico here with The Language of Agreement. So today we're going to cover, our topic here is a little, I don't know, maybe a little more nebulous, a little softer. Usually I give you some technique that you can put into place. Today we're going to talk a little bit about context and intention, that sort of thing. So to a client, prospect, and it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, you might be on the phone booking appointments. You might be sitting in the living room taking a listing. You might be showing a house, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. The question here is, what is your intention? What's your intention? What are you attempting to do? What are you working to create? Meaning, if you're on the phone booking appointments, probably your intention is to set the appointment. If you're sitting at the kitchen table, probably your intention is to take the listing. So consider for a moment, well, that is an intention, right? You're in business to be in business. You're in business to take the listing. You're in business to set the appointment. It's what you were doing in your business, for sure. However, put yourself in the shoes of your client. And from the position of the client, if you were the client, and there was somebody coming to offer you a service, and their number one intention was get the business, get the business, get the business, and their intention was, what can I do to get your signature? Is this somebody that you would automatically trust? Or is this somebody that you would, well, how long have you been doing this? And do you have a guarantee? And what if this doesn't work for me? And wouldn't you start checking? And wouldn't you start safety checking and saying, well, what about that? Wouldn't you start exploring what your options were? Why? Because this person's intention is to take care of themselves. So I'm just going to invite you to consider the possibility that when your intention is get the business, the clients will feel it. And if you are one of those people, God forbid, you're one of those people that pulls into the driveway at a listing appointment, and you hype yourself up by saying, I'm going to get this listing, this is my listing, I'm going to get this listing at my price. Whoa, easy. You're making this all about you, which is the pitfall of sales. Remember, sales is not about you. Sales is not about you at all. You are the helper. You are the facilitator. The client is the principal. They're the running the show. They're the ones with the equity. They're the ones with the house. They are the principal. So the more that you can change your intention to be about making a difference for the client, find out what they want. Find out what they need. What time frames do they have in mind? What does that look like? How soon do you want to be there? Roughly what kind of equity position do you have? And have you reached the capital gains time limit yet? And how are you moving this money? And when you come from a place of, how can I make the biggest difference for this person? How can I help them? Well, I've seen that I'm tipped up there and you can't see my hands. How can I help them, find out what they want and get what they want? And how can I help these people achieve the goals that they want? Then all of a sudden, my intention is, how do I make a difference for them? Now, two things happen when my intention is here. One thing is, when my intention is, how do I make the biggest possible difference for these people, I show up differently. I start asking questions that highlight what they need, what they want. I start asking questions that illuminate the solution. Now, when I'm showing up like, I'm here to get the business, give me the business, what do I need to do to get your signature? I'm showing up differently. I'm showing up looking like protecting myself. Now, a crazy thing happens. When you show up only looking for yourself, the clients can feel it. And when it's clear that you're looking for a deal because you need the money or want the business, whatever, when it's clear to the clients, trust me, they feel it. When it's clear to the clients that you're looking out for yourselves, the only natural response they can have is to start to protect themselves. Because you're looking out for yourself, they're starting to look out for themselves. The difference here is when your intention is, how do I help these people? They feel right away that you're on their team. you're on their side. What are they really looking for? They're looking for somebody to represent them. They want somebody to represent their best interests. So when you show up with your intention, how do I make the biggest difference for them? How do I get them as much money as possible? How do I get them to their dream house before Christmas, whatever that is? When you show up like, how do I do this for these people? They get right away that you're on their side, that you are already representing them. They no longer have the need to protect themselves. All right, so part 2 of today, that's intention, part 1. Part 2 is, what about suggestion? Suggestion is, how do I bring in, right, because I want to make it all about the customer. Yet there are times that I need to bring in some sort of a suggestion. Maybe the customer is off base on their market value, on the way something should work. How do I bring in some sort of a suggestion? Well, first of all, when we do a great job of being intentional and putting the client first, I like to call that customer-centric sales, then they're now open to hear the suggestions. Now, the easiest way to deliver the suggestions is, again, with intention and where we're headed. For example, if the customer, the client wants to sell their house and they want to move to the lake because they want to retire, then I'm going to say things like, sell this house. Obviously we need to sell this house so you have the proceeds. So you'll be able to relocate to the lake, and right, this is your goal to retire. So I'm going to be giving them back the same things they gave me because I want them to know that I heard them. Now, when we're in intention with the client, they're open to hearing these suggestions. Now, one last thing I want to say about suggestions is the subconscious mind, the wheels between the ears here, only understand positives. Meaning, the brain can understand concepts, but not the negation of a concept, right? So right now, whatever you do, don't think of a purple camel. Whatever you do, do not think of a purple camel, right? You got to think of a purple camel in order to move it out of the way. So be intentional with your suggestions. And like, I don't want to bring up commission cutting and that house didn't sell. I don't want to bring up any of those negatives because now that's the topic of this conversation. I want to bring up, look, this one sold in this many days. Look at how this one was priced. See, this one was priced according to market and it sold in 28 days. Right, perfect. Wouldn't it be great to be sold in 28 days? That'd be working great for you. So I want to talk in the affirmative about the things the client wants. Now that is being intentional, and that is also generating suggestion to move the client towards what they want. And I really want the suggestions to be in the affirmative. So one more quick example about this. Suggestions in the affirmative. So just tune in, like, feel how different does it feel when I say, I like being well. It feels good to be healthy. I prefer to be healthy and strong and fit, and I feel much better being healthy and clean and fit. Versus, oh God, I hate being sick. I don't want to be sick again. I had that cold forever. I was coughing and sneezing. It was horrible. And that seemed. Now, I'm kind of saying the same thing. Both of them, I'm saying I want better health, but one of them is in the affirmative, and it just feels better. And one is like, oh, I don't want that, and it feels not as good. So this is like the final check-in with myself is if it feels great, I'm typically moving in the right direction. So what's last question is, what's the right direction for your clients? I don't know. I got to ask and find out. The right direction for this last example was sell this house, retire, move to the lake, right? That's the right direction for them. So that's it. That was a very, very quick watered down snippet of some intentionality and a little bit about suggestion. If you haven't been to our site, please check out thelanguageofagreement.com. And if you want an in-depth, borderline PhD version on some of these tools and techniques to put them into your business, we do a whole giant section on hypnotic suggestion, how to deliver suggestions directly into the subconscious. That is in the full Language of Agreement curriculum, and currently we still have early bird pricing. Our next launch is April 10th, and if you sign up it might be just this week, you can save 20% on the sign up. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I hope these clips are making an impact and making a difference for you. And please scribble some comments, ask questions, and let me know how I can make a difference for you. That's it, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.